What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching you how to think about incentives, specifically economic incentives, and even more specifically, macroeconomic incentives. Okay, how to follow the money, this is kind of like one of those types of videos. So we're just going to dive in. When I was in college, I studied political science. One of the main things that interested me the most, that led me to doing all the things I'm doing now here in Puerto Rico with TJR and all the other things I don't talk about that I do besides what I do here, is it has to do with this, right? It has to do with government trust. Okay, so what you're looking at is a chart that shows the average American's trust in Washington, essentially, right? So it's a way of measuring institutional trust. Okay, so as you can see, about 77% of people in 1965 ish trusted America, trusted their government, right? And today it's somewhere between 15 and 20%, right? So that's a catastrophic event. That is like, I can't emphasize enough what that means, right? What that means is people move, people migrate for better economic opportunities. And a better economic opportunity is one where you're paying less tax to the governments you don't trust. Because, of course, if you don't trust your government, if your trust in your government goes down, your willingness to pay taxes goes down, right? So you're willing, and then if it gets bad enough, your willingness to move and migrate you, your family, your business, your friends to places that will get you to dodge that taxation, or whatever the legal term is for avoiding taxes, right? You're going to do it. So that's what's been happening, as you see. In this, in a less extreme example, people are going from California to Texas and Florida, right? New York to Florida, New York to Texas, right? People People, I don't need to tell you this, you see it, right? And you see the people moving to Puerto Rico, right? They're the people who have big goals for themselves, right? These are people who take their lives very seriously and take their money very seriously, okay? And so that's why you see TJR, the Paul brothers, Luke Belmar, myself, and a lot of other people down here, right? And the amount of areas in the economy that are unlocked, right? The the number of opportunities that are created because of the migration of those, you know, chiefs, right? Because there's chiefs and Indians, and then when the chiefs moves, the Indians follow because every chief needs their right. So one of my favorite examples that I just learned about really recently is this family that owns a bunch of like cold storage facilities, so like deep freezers and things like that for nicer restaurants that want to be able to like have things in storage, right? Their business is exploding because nicer restaurants and more corporate restaurants are moving to the island, right? So they just got this contract to build this massive freaking cold storage facility, right? For these restaurants. So these opportunities take form in a huge number of ways, guys. So I want to also talk about, like, even walk a little bit back to how this country in America was founded, right? America was founded not by people seeking seeking religious freedom. It was founded by wealthy Dutch people, wealthy British people, wealthy Northern European people, essentially, right? Who wanted to avoid paying taxes to these tyrants, right? To their lords and kings, who were just like these inbred weirdos at that period, right? So those guys moved and created all this opportunity out in the Americas, and then people started to move and follow those people, right? To seek out new jobs. And then obviously there are other benefits with moving to America at that time, including religious freedom, which is a big thing. But this has never changed. People are always following economic opportunity. People are always following, where they're going to be treated best. So if we go a lot further back in history, we can think about the Holy Roman Empire. The Holy Roman Empire, back then, what was the biggest area of the economy, right? It's agriculture. And so where was the healthiest, best, most fertile land in the entire Mediterranean, Northern Africa, like where massive populations were, even like, in Assyria, right? In the Middle East. This is where the majority of human beings were. And so everyone was competing over where agricultural land produced the most, right? And so one of the best places to do this was along the Po River, which is like northern Italy, right? Which today remains one of the most luxurious, nicest places in the world. That's like where Lake Como is and all these places, because this is where food grows the easiest. It's the best place to live. Like this is where like Leonardo da Vinci's rich parents were raised. Like all of these things, right? So that's a long way to say that when you know the economic opportunities of your time, be it agriculture, and you know where it's best incentivized to do it, you want to follow these trends. And if you follow these macroeconomic trends, you're going to arrive at a nice spot. So the probably the best modern example of this is Singapore. So Lee Kuan Yew, who's this man right here, he is the founder of Singapore. And he literally like the title of his book, which is a really strong recommendation that I always give people, is From Third World to First. That's literally what he single-handedly did. He took Singapore, united it because it was just like a bunch of like swampy kind of tribes and things like that. And he united it to become this economic supercenter that is today. And if you read that book, you'll learn that all he's doing is designing clever incentives, right, for the people in that area, for US banks to come, for Chinese businessmen to come, for Russian oligarchs, like literally he designed every little thing in the form of an incentive, right? And as you are probably aware, Singapore is one of the most trusted tax havens in the world now, and it's pretty much all because of this guy. The more you read about this guy, the more impressive he is. Like, if you think Elon Musk is impressive, like, read about this guy. This guy literally created a country that wasn't a country. Like, Singapore did not exist when he was born. Singapore, he created and then turned it into this super freaking city, right? I mean, it's like a city state. It's not super a country, but you get the point. So that is today's video. Think about where the opportunities are going to be unlocked, right? Because if you are chasing an opportunity that has already happened, right, has already been realizing itself, right? So maybe you don't start a cold storage facility in Puerto Rico, right? There are going to be new trends and new things like this unlocked, but the pattern remains the same. Identify the patterns and see where the gaps are. What things are inevitable, what areas of the economy are inevitably going to be filled? Like food, right? Food is, food's a big business, right? All right. So that's today's video, guys. Have a happy Sunday.